Greetings, my fellow interdimensional beings of light. Today, welcome to another live stream here today. On this fine day, we will be doing a third eye meditation. Now, why would somebody want to work with their third eye? Well, the third eye corresponds to a certain part of the brain known as the pineal gland, which is a small, rice-sized pine cone-shaped organ that regulates your daily, seasonal, circadian rhythms, and daily rhythms, and your sleep-wake patterns, and it also works with your dreams and affects your perception, your body's perception of light and visions, which is also corresponding to dreams. Now, it is located at the geometric center of our brain and is intimately linked with that light perception, mainly. That's why when you activate the pineal, people tend to see light, typically, is what that is. It releases a chemical once you activate it in that way. And this chemical, people like to call this the God chemical. It opens you to a self-realization that not a lot of people get to experience. And, it's great. Now, if you're having trouble when it comes to meditating and focusing on the divine essence because random thoughts or urges keep provoking you, this meditation will silence the mind and it will soothe your soul, essentially, and to the point where meditation will become seemingly effortless. Now, we're going to start by paying attention here to, first off, to show you, this is what is called the energy consciousness grid. And, and the energy consciousness grid will, as you can see, at the very center goes to the very middle part of the brain. And you have a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere, which correspond to the different brain hemispheres. Now, I don't claim to be a neuroscientist, because I'm not just a shaman that does cool things with his brain. Now, right there you can see the thalamus. You might have heard the thalamus related to the Egyptian. A lot of Egyptian symbols depict the thalamus. And in the middle of the thalamus is the pineal gland. You can see it points it out on the paper, and it is right in between the two. There are two hemispheres in the thalamus, two little golf ball looking deals, and in between those is the pineal. And to pay attention to and focus on your pineal gland, you want to do that by either moving your senses and circulatory consciousness to the very top of your head in the very center, as if you had a line, a spike, going right through your head in a weird way. And the way I describe it in this way, you going from the crown chakra. If you've heard in the Hindu Vedic traditions, crown chakra, and then you have the third eye under it. Go to the crown and the middle of your head and drop straight down, and you will feel a small tingling sensation in the very center of your cranial region. If you don't feel this sensation, you can also do the same technique by directing your senses to the floppy parts of your ear on the side here. connecting to the very center of your cranial cavity, and while keeping that sensation on the ears, you want to go straight into the center of the brain from those points, and that will lead you right to the pineal gland. Now, while keeping that same sensation in your brain region, you bring another path of your circulatory consciousness onto your Anja chakra, which is not the third eye directly, but if you know these chakras, they are a little bit behind the skin in different parts. And so this one would be right here, in between the eyebrows and slightly above a little bit. There's also a pressure point there. I believe I posted something that talks about that before. And right there, focus on the pineal, like I said earlier, center of the brain, and you will feel the very tiny rice thing, and you will feel the awareness. And while having that, feel your Anja chakra. Now, you need to keep awareness on both the internal and external vortexes of your third eye. That is what you're doing by keeping those in that sort of sense. And once you have tapped into the awareness of your third eye, you can begin the prana. Now, I recommend, before going into this, consecrating the area. You can do this incense. You can do it with candles that are indigo. And so here I have an indigo candle, because indigo corresponds to the third eye. The frequency. Colors have a frequency, and indigo specifically corresponds to the frequency of your third eye. Now, get that going. Incense will calm your mind, getting into meditation. Now, this ancient prana technique was channeled by yours truly. While maintaining consciousness in pineal, like I said earlier, you want to start by plugging your right nostril as such, and breathe a swift breath of air through your left. Now, by doing this, you are tapping into the masculine frequency on the right side of the body. The two hemispheres of the brain correspond. The right side of your body corresponds to male, left to female, but your brains are switched in a weird way. So male will be on the left, female will be on the right. So, breathing that in, you are invoking the right side. At the same time, invoking your third eye, which would give you the experience that you are looking for. Now, with this breathing technique, after doing that, you want to chant this ancient Germanic word, Proto-Germanic. So, this is very early years, thousands of years ago. The word, I have it in my book here, the Old Norse translation. There's a few different translations you can use. I prefer Proto-Norse, but in here it is this word is both a mantra that you can chant during meditation, any meditation, and is also a divine name of the god Odin, who directs the third eye. Now, this name literally translates to both truthful, or the true one, or the soothe, or soothe at the same time, or learning the truth. And the Old Norse was Sanr or Sathr, pronounced sort of like that. Now, the pronunciation I use is the Proto-Germanic, which incorporates the thorn rune. If you don't know the thorn rune, it is a very powerful rune, ancient symbol that was used in protecting yourself from any kind of negative entities that would want to harm you in any way, and is very, very good at its job. Now, the word is Santhas, and that is S-A-N thorn A-S, in the or Z, not S at the end. That would be pronounced as more of a S-H sort of sound, so more Santhas. Now, it has multiple meanings, like I said. Sadr, name of the great deity Odin, truthful or soothe. And that meaning is to describe the essence of the pineal gland. Once you activate it, you begin to see the truth in all things. You get that awareness that you have been looking for, seeking. At the same time soothing you, because Odin, if you don't know Odin, he is a god of destruction, and mainly destruction of your limitations and your potential. He takes the cap off your potential, your magic potential, meditative potential, and unleashes the entirety of the universe into you. Now, the word was originally meant to describe your existence, auspiciousness, and consciousness, because Santhas translates to, it was meaning the same thing as truthful or soothe, because your existence is truthful and soothe at the same time. Whenever you're floating through infinite light, it is like, a lot of people call it bliss. A lot of people call it bliss. And that represents the meditative aspect of Woden. Now, performing this ritual, you can do it along with me, or you can do it at home whenever you like, after you watch the video. Now, let's set this over here. As far as crystals go, I'm using this. This is a blue agate, which is good for the third eye. And I will keep this one near me, as well as this. This is turquoise, good third eye opener as well. This is not directly to the third eye, but I have connected with this a lot and is very good. Kyanite. Very, very good crystal there. Now specifically the agate I will have in my left hand, which your left hand is known for energetic properties the most. You want to put that in your palm so that it will be absorbed into your aura and your entire being, every atom of your being. can already, you are performing the ritual, you can feel a certain light building up. That light you want to keep building as you go through the meditation. You'll see it grow larger, larger. It'll come to a point to where you have to decide whether you want to be free from your attachment or you want to be stuck in this hell that we are in. Essentially, not the hell, but our own personal hell that we go through. The essence that you are bringing to you, you are attracting every single atom of the universe and concentrating it directly to your brow. And once it builds up to a certain point, that light will explode into you, and you want to let it do its thing. You don't want to wake out of it. You want to keep your eyes closed and stay in the meditation no matter how intense it is, because this is your awakening. This is the moment your pineal has been waiting for, because from birth your pineal gland begins in a state where it's not hasn't been in use for a long time and been calcified, where it's covered in this blue looking moss stuff that over time you get rid of it after you work with your third eye a little bit over time, and it continues to decalcify. And there's also ways you can decalcify through both crystals, certain foods, and herbs that help with it, like, let's see, frankincense. I know that's good for the third eye. Sandalwood, rosemary, peppermint is good for the third eye. Sage, all kind of clary sage, and things of that sort. And as far as crystals go, you want to work with lapis lazuli, labradorite, dark blues, indigo colored things. Like this, I do not know what this is, but the color of it very well represents what you're trying to look for. And yeah, you do this practice until you get the experience you're looking for. It feels incredible the first time you do it, but as you do it more, you begin to be adjusted with the energy that you're working with, and the energy becomes adjusted with you as well, and you create a certain relationship with that part of you, connecting it with it in that way and freeing it from the calcification that you get from birth. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this meditation. This is probably the most powerful thing I've showed you. A good thing I also want to recommend when you're ready to let it take over you, you're ready to let it unleash your inner power. You want to do this mudra if it doesn't work for you for the first time. This is the mudra of the third eye. You take all of your fingers down except for your middle fingers. You take them and put them flat against each other like this, and your thumb should be out like this. And then that is the third eye mudra. Do that after you have done the Sanvas. After you do that, as many times as it takes to where the energy consumes you, you see the light just in your face take over your entire being. Every atom of yourself is taken by the divine. Hope you guys enjoyed.